Awesome. Just got off the call. Woo! Fun times. Turn this music down. Meow. Okay, and also get the music playing in my ears too. All right. Maybe a little too quiet. So hi everyone, welcome to another One Lion of Code. I was typing this into chat already. I am One Lion, and I am going to check to see if the bot is on. It is not. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my computer restarted at some point. Oh, actually, I restarted it this morning because I had an update. So let me get the bot started. Join. And Dukasoft's bot is always running. It's always running, and he is the best non-bot bot ever. There's always an update creeping in. Always. All right, I'm gonna put the manual notification into Discord because doesn't seem like Broken Sword has had time to look at it, and I definitely haven't taken the time to look at it, but one day we'll get the Discord bot updated so that it actually tells us when people go live, as opposed to only when they end the stream. But yeah, hi. It's Monday, and I was talking with my project manager about some happenings. He is going to be taking a trip for 90 days and working remotely from outside of the country. And so we are coordinating how I can best help with certain situations. So he's going to be able to do the majority of the stuff still, but there will be certain things that I might be able to help him with, take some load off, any emergency type stuff that we need to respond to during the day. But we are a global company, so it's kind of good because he'll be right in the middle of the Far East versus the West, and it's really nice. It's going to be nice having that. So anyway, as I was trying to mention, we are working on the financial management tracker, which that should be working now. Yep, there it is. Awesome. Which you can see the Blazor web view on the screen from the Maui project because we were talking about that on Friday. Not that you would know because you were only hearing my side of the conversation, I think. I haven't really even listened back to the video yet to know. I'm pretty sure though that you can't hear live coding or napalm, which is really sad because we had a good conversation. Conversations. I just need to remember that the first thing to do on Fridays is make sure that all of my audio sources are set correctly. Videos. 153 Community Day. About halfway through. Still talking. Nope. Can't hear anyone from... Oh my gosh, that's annoying. Okay, just verified. Oh, hello, Chatty. Chatty. WTF, Chatty. I'm gonna start JavaScript. Oh, wait, is that mine? That's not my channel. That is Alicia's channel. So let me make that chat go away so I don't get confused. Here's our chat. And nobody has said anything. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and continue then with this project. We did a pretty good job of finishing up a lot of the core features, and we've been working on this calculator that we're getting to work pretty nicely. On Friday, the first thing that I started the stream off with was this concept of a custom protocol, because I was needing to get the custom protocol to work for one of my projects because there's this whole auth flow. And looking at our project, this is all me trying to do custom protocol stuff. Looking at our current project, I have this kind of login form on our landing page, which we haven't done anything to do with login, with authentication and authorization, aka identity. But when we do, I'm going to need some way for my desktop and mobile apps to know that when I do my login, which this should be provided by the server, so when I do my login, I will have a callback done that will tell my application where to go. If I'm smart about it, I might be able to tell it to open up. Excuse me. Thank you. I might be able to tell it to open the user's default browser and have them sign into the API, so that if they're already signed in, it'll use their existing credentials and then just do a custom protocol redirect back, so that the application will then receive it and then finish the login process. So the first login process is just an authorization step where you get the authentication code. I think it's an authentication code, not an authorization code, but an authentication code. And then you do the second part of the login request, which is to send that as a post with your client secret to the API to get the authorization token that has all of the claims and everything for that user. Anyway, here's our here's our calculator. So we have a way to be able to put in numbers. Aha! So when decimal is active and we push 0 as the first number after the decimal, it doesn't work. But I'll need to fix that. Otherwise, when decimal is active, then any number that we type comes after the decimal point. We remove, and then it does the same thing that normal calculators do, where it removes back to the decimal point, but your decimal stays active unless you deactivate it yourself. But as you saw, I cannot deactivate it if there already is a decimal point. Here's our plus, and then I need to get the calc button to sum up the total, but if I push plus again, then it does nothing. It doesn't actually calculate the previous plus this number, but that's okay, because we're going to get all of that to work today. But we did get a lot done, so not bad, not bad. We have some kind of output up here at the top that is showing us the current value, and then the current operation, and then the next value. So that's where we're at. Any questions? Any comments? How is everyone doing? If you feel like typing or chatting, there is absolutely no requirement. And hello, Olav. And Johan, hello. Thank you so much for, I believe that was a follow. I don't even have my Twitch dashboard, stream manager, whatever this thing is called, up. What's the plan? The plan is to finish this calculator for now. As soon as we finish with this calculator, then we will be cleaning up a lot of stuff. I'm hoping to, well, we have two major places that we can go. We can write the unit tests, or all of our testing stuff that I promised we would do. I promised we would do TDD, but I did TDD for one of the services and then I dropped it for everything else. So now we're going to do write test now that all of the logic is finished. Or we can clean up the UI and make it actually look like a real application. And so the question is it a personal project? Yes, it is. So I used to be able to stream my work. I used to work full-time I still work full-time. I used to work for a company that allowed me to stream my day job, and what I did there is full stack development using Blazor. And it was a migration project going from JSP to some .NET, some Microsoft platform, and I chose ASP.NET MVC because Blazor wasn't out at the time. And then after I finished converting all of the projects, I'm like, hey, Blazor is now official and we can use it. And I had already been playing with it, trying to learn it. So let's use it to migrate the rest of these applications to Blazor from MVC. And it was great. It was fantastic. But now I got a job somewhere else and I'm not able to stream my work that I do for them. So I'm like, I still want to do Blazor development because I'm doing Blazor development in a desktop app for my pay for me job, my make a living off of it for now job. But I still want to do it on the stream. I still love doing Blazor, and it seems to be content that people have enjoyed, so I wanted to keep it going. So we chose a project together-ish. Kind of chose it together. So the project site will show you the information about what the project is about, but in short, it's a financial management tracker so that we can track our own financial spending and savings, our personal finances. It's not supposed to be like Mint, where it can connect to your external financial institutions and pull in the data. It is intended for you to manually type in all of your transactions that you want to track and all of your accounts that you want to track, because it's fun. And how was my experience so far? I've loved, absolutely loved developing in Blazor. I mean, there are hardships. Is that a good word? There are moments when it's like, why does this have to be so difficult? I guess the main one being, and I guess this is across all frameworks, the main one being identity. Managing identity, especially since we are writing our solutions in such a way that Blazor is only intended to be the user interface. And we have any imaginable, not any, but a myriad of project types that use the same UI. So you can see here, I have a WPF application that if I launch that one, so here's the web app using Blazor WASM with an API hosted backend. And still waiting for, there it is. No, come back. Okay, and here is the desktop version of it. So you can see it looks exactly the same as far as the UI is concerned. All of the work that I'm doing on the UI will show up in the WPF application, which is a Windows desktop application. It uses the same HTTP client logic for going and getting my actual account summaries, my transaction history, being able to add new transactions, edit transactions, delete transactions, do the list management. So it's all there. You're currently working in Capgemini. I work for Capgemini. Well, actually, I work for Sogeti, which is a subsidiary of Capgemini. Now that I've mentioned their name, please be aware that any opinions that I express on this channel are my own views and opinions and may not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Sogeti or Capgemini. That's awesome, though. Are you in Europe? I'm Sogeti US. Awesome. You're in India. Very, very cool stuff. So yeah, so we're just using Blazor, and I've been trying to use programming practices and project structures and stuff that are well suited for solo dev as well as team dev work. So we've been using GitHub as our source control. And I've been trying to create issues and make sure that I mark those issues as resolved, associate them with my current branch, creating branches to resolve those issues, and doing PRs to get those branches merged into main. We have a GitHub Actions pipeline that will run for every, actually I think it runs for every commit at the moment, instead of just running for the PRs, which is fine, I guess. No, this is actually looking like it's only running for... Oh no, it's running for every branch, or every commit to any branch. There we go. And hello, Disco. Konnichiwa. So yeah, if you are interested in seeing the entire project from beginning to end, if you go to 11D Lion, my YouTube channel, ow, which you guys won't see this, it only shows up for me and it plays every time and it's loud. And this guy's voice is annoying. Anyway, you can see this entire project from beginning to end, or beginning to now, I guess, in this P01 Blazor Project Financial Management. And yeah, all of the videos from when we first started this project up until now have been posted to the YouTubes. So yeah, everything from, and one day I am going to add chapters to every single one of the videos. So you can just switch to stuff. And like one thing that I would really like to do is indicate when I'm just talking with chat like I'm doing now versus when I'm doing actual work on the project. Because I do a lot of talking with you guys and it's fun. It's kind of one of the main things that I want to do. It's just communicate with the community. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So let's continue working on this thing. Just a simple calculator. Cool. Communication. And hello, Captain Commerce. Captain Commerce is another .NET developer that works in NOP Commerce, making plugins for extensions. What are they called? For NOP Commerce. But he also does Blazor development. He works on he works on a inventory management system. I have not been able to catch your streams lately, but I have been trying to at minimum lurk on them. But they happen on Mondays and Fridays typically. So you'd be able to catch him tonight if he is indeed streaming. If you're interested in finding out when he streams, definitely give him a follow so that you can be notified when he starts. But you can also hop into our Discord. He has a channel in there that is specific to his stream where you can communicate with him directly, talk about stuff on his stream, see the duckies that he has. Oh yeah. Awesome duckies. In fact, let's go ahead and get a video shout out so you can be introduced to the one, the only, the Captain Commerce. Capitan. Buyer beware. This one. So never mind about getting to meet him. My latest project is a note app because Evernote doubled their monthly cost. Oh my gosh. And you know, why spend the extra money when I can code something for a minimum 500 hours? That is a pretty expensive app for 500 hours. Not gonna lie. And hello, Mojo. Switch to Obsidian? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Writing is telepathy. Oh. Instead of using Evernote, use Obsidian. But where's the fun? Why use someone else's app when I can code my own for 500 hours? Oh man, okay. Crazy. You there, scooch over so I can see. I don't even know where Are you taking up the whole screen? How dare. I didn't tell you to dock. Okay. So here is our calculator. Since I don't need to switch between these very much, I'm going to go ahead and put them across the top so I have more horizontal space. I'm going to collapse you. There we go. Oh, you know what? I've been meaning to do this more often. What is the keyboard shortcut for full screen? I've been meaning to remember what this is. Keyboard. Layout fill. Not layout fill. View full screen. Shift Alt Enter. I know, I didn't want you to take up, no, wrong kind of full screen. I thought that there was a way to make the editor take up the entire window. Visual Studio, make editor take up entire window. Control Shift P. That sounds more familiar. Oh, toggle full screen or use F11. Alt Shift Enter for full screen, but that's not the one we wanted. Yeah, maybe I'm making this up. But I really thought that there was a way to collapse. Oh, I know what it was. Do I have a different layout? Come on. Okay, so almost. So full expand is going to be this on top. Save window layout. Full expand. Yes. Okay, and then the keyboard shortcuts for switching between layouts is Control Alt. Awesome. I will join you because I'm mad Obsidian is an OSS. Napalm says, I try that too often and never finish my app. The which one? Creating your own because why pay for it or why use someone else's when I can make it myself? Well, because I never finish them. That's why. How can I be expected to finish an app when I don't even do my work? I'm kidding. Yup. Mojo says to Captain, let me know when you create the repo. And Captain Comer says, Excel 97, not MongoDB. Did you mention a database somewhere up there? Oh, yes, it will be Blazor and Excel 97. Got it. Replaced. If I could convince my wife to learn coding, then I'd have more capacity. So, I tried something similar, but it wasn't that... I guess I was kind of being pushy, Gomenasai. But I suggested on occasion, if she was interested, then here are some things that could be helpful. And so she tried it, and it's just not for her. It's just not for everyone. So I don't want to be that guy. It's so pushy and so annoying. Okay, I want to see all of this stuff. Scooch. We're good. Okay, so we were working on these buttons. I love Obsidian because it's Markdown. If they raise costs or anything, you just move your Markdown files elsewhere. Awesome. Okay, we have the plus button working once, but as soon as I push plus again, it is not summing up the way that it's supposed to, where current value equals when we are doing anything that is not one of these things, we are adding. So plus will be current value plus our current number output, which should have been 90 in this case. And then the formula output should now be switched to 90. And then whatever button we just pushed. So why isn't that working? Right line, and I'm using console write line instead of launching the app in debug because this is just easier for me to use hot reload to add a quick write line, check the output, remove the write line as soon as I'm done with it. Value before num output, value after. So because num output is a read only, that will, oh, I switched this to use whole number and decimal part. and so it's going to be, oh wait, no, this is right. Okay, so it's still going to be current value plus num output, where current value is going to be the values that I put in to the calculator. How am I going to do this? We're going to split this up into, and I don't want to have to deserialize. I'll just do it as a string. So current value, and then output. This will be after. Okay, avocator. Oh, and I keep trying to use current value. Stop trying to use current value. What I need to do is have current value also be, no, that's right. Current value is right. I'm doing this correct. All right, thank you so much for the alert, Captain Commerce. All right, are we still running? Why does it look like we're not running anymore? Where is my console? So if my developer console gets closed, does that mean that the app is no longer running? Yes. Good. Oh my gosh. Can't type. And once again, just so everyone knows, the music I am currently using is coming from an app called Slipstream, slip.stream. And a lot of the songs are by this purple cat. We do have some other new songs in there that we added at the end. One thing is, I think it might be playing, so I tell it to do shuffle play, but I think it might be playing in the same random every time. And I still am not quite sure how to get this thing to just play the playlist from top to bottom when I push the play button on one of them, because it still ends up stopping on occasion. Okay, so we are back. F12. Close that as F12. Show me the calculator. Oh man, it's warm in here today. If I do 5 and we watch the console, and then I do the plus sign, current value before is 0, output before is 5, current value is 5, output after is 5. So, aha. I am telling it to use the wrong thing here. That's what the answer is. Right, so plus 5. Oh. Why didn't you update my formula output? Yeah, it's summing it up correctly, but right now it didn't hot reload this change. Okay, well, we know this is working. So let's rebuild. Oh, why are you telling me to restart now? How dare. Plus F12. Calculator. 5 plus 2 plus, there we go, 6 plus 13. Good. Times 5 minus 10. Negate that to make it plus 10. Ooh, that didn't work. Because no, this is right. Oh, because I'm not actually doing the right operations. Shh. Okay. Shh. We'll surround this in a try-catch because lazy. No, not lazy. It makes more sense to do this in a try-catch, where if the user puts in a 0 as the divisor in a division, then we will explicitly catch the divide by 0 exception. And then we'll have the formatted output specifically be div / %0 or something, or #0. What does it normally look like? Just the words cannot divide by 0. My Excel database master would know. I'm okay. Not that I needed to do that, but just in case. #div divided by 0, bang. I don't know, should we just put regular words that say not divisible by 0, or does everyone pretty much understand this? Oh, wait, no, this is right. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? Oh, right. Yeah, so it still has not asked me to rebuild after making these changes, which I'm not expecting that. Like, as soon as I push save, oh. Gomenasai. I'm eating my lip currently. Oh, deity, what am I trying to do? I am trying to Control C, and there it is. Failed to hot reload capabilities, a task was canceled. But it really should have said, do you want to restart your app? Or it should have just hot reloaded to begin with. I don't know why it's being weird at the moment. I don't remember updating Visual Studio. 5 divided by 0 plus, oh, I can't divide by 0, plus 5. Okay, so if num output is 0, then we will set it to 0 explicitly. Otherwise, we'll do current value divided by the number. And that way it pretty much resets. So 5 plus 20 divided by 0, not divided by 0, so our current value should be 0. So if I did plus 5 plus 6. Okay, so now I want my calc button. Yeah, I guess my question is, should my formula output be the entire formula that I have so far, which is going to be something like formula output, no, it's not going to concatenate itself. It's going to be our current value, our operator, or previous operator, dot get display text, why are you being so weird? Previous operator. Okay. If prev op dot has value, then previous operator dot get display text. Otherwise, string dot empty. I'm having trouble thinking because of how warm it is. Why is it gotta be so warm? All right, and then we'll only put that there. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to accumulate what this thing looks like. So if previous operator has value, then we're going to output current value previous operator dot get display text, which we know previous operator will not be null because we're doing a null check essentially right here. And so we are operatoring it. Well, I guess we'll do dot value because it doesn't like the bang syntax. The current value that we put in equals. I don't like that. And the reason that I don't like this is because we will get the actual num output value. Oh, we'll just see what it looks like because I can't brain right now. Napalm says I'm gonna have to just build my own Blazor app for something. No one seems to want to adopt it in industry yet. Adopt what? The thing that you're wanting to create or the Blazor in general? Wait. Output Okay, so this is kind of the thought-ish, which is I want what you just typed equals, and then the value that we get from doing that. And then we can just format it better. And hello, X. I already forgot what we agreed on. I told you I would. I don't do it on purpose. All right, I'm gonna restart Visual Studio though, because I'm kind of getting tired of this hot reload not actually hot reloading, or even giving me any indication that it needs to rebuild. That's how it's going. A man of his word. Respect. Although you should have less respect for me for not remembering. I just know that we weren't going to call you sewage. No, I want my PowerShell. .NET Watch. Can I have hot reload, please? Can it just work this time? Menace, I am I'm gonna check what's up with our temperature. Because if it's hot downstairs, it's gotta be burning upstairs. What in the world? It's not even. It's not. I think it's just because the AC isn't running currently. Oh, but it's warm. It's hard for me to think when it's warm. 5 plus 2. And then if I push divided by, I'm expecting to see 5 plus 2 equals 7, and then the divided by. Or, 2, because I did it again where I meant to push underscore current value. Hot reload? Hot reload? Anyone? Hot reload is like completely broken for me. So what I typically see is if I make a root edit, which this shouldn't be a root edit, but if I do make a root edit, then the console would say you have made changes that need to rebuild. Would you like to rebuild? And then you have the option of yes, no, always. You have this thingy. But it's not doing that for me. Why? 5 plus 2 divided by 6 plus... Yeah, okay, so that is kind of working. I think we will just change the way that it outputs a little bit. Calculator.razor. Here's our formula output. So this is going to be the formula output, and this is going to be current value. If previous operator is not null. And I'm putting it inside of a text element instead of putting the span inside of the this thingy, because I plan on telling the modal header to... I'm putting that in modal header, which is fine. Okay, I'm planning on telling the modal header that I want it to be display flex, and then flex direction column, or maybe grid, so that I can specify the height of the first row and the height of the second row. Let's just see what it looks like. Modal header, do you have a way for me to... modal header. I don't have an element called modal header. How does this work again? I do. All right, I'm going to be a little less clever and a little bit more brute forcey and just wrap it in a div. And we'll use bootstrap styles or classes. So display flex column, font size. Yeah, that's what I was asking, Napalm. What's the something that no one wants to adopt? If you have the capacity to answer currently. There are, did I take, duh. I think I took Bootstrap out of this project so that we could show building our own CSS, custom CSS to everywhere. Why would I do that? I would do that because I don't like fighting with Bootstrap styles. Even though lately I've been enjoying using Bootstrap. So modal header is going to be div class calc output. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. And I'm pretty sure I already have an isolated CSS class or CSS for this component. What does our structure look like currently? This is a card header. And inside of that card header is our formula output. Wait. Oh, duh. It's currently only formula output because it hasn't picked up my new structure. All right, calc output is going to be display grid, like I said. Grid template columns is going to be auto 1FR. I'm going to put a gap in between them of something small. And not columns. Why do you do 0.4 rems? What I meant to say is rows, so that they can be in columnar format. Okay. If I refresh, will you get the new stuff? No? The answer is no, son. Yeah. Let's stop and start the app. Forget you, hot reload. Wait, it says no hot reload changes to apply. Oh, so confusing. What is Razor? Just markup for .NET stuff. So Razor is a way for you to write HTML and include C# code. So it's kind of like JSP or just about any other thing where you're used to writing HTML and then some special syntax to switch to that language. It's just that with Blazor, when you're writing your Razor components, all of the C# that you write are run in such a way that they manipulate your page without having to reload anything. So typically Razor is static, or it's dynamic in the sense that you can populate it with whatever data you want, but it's usually rendered on the server and then served to the UI, and then you'd have to use JavaScript to manipulate existing components to do stuff like have a modal pop-up. Unless you're clever with CSS, then a modal pop-up is a checkbox in a visible CSS rule or display CSS rule. But Other things like if statements. If you had a C# if statement in your Razor markup for your, let's say, Razor Pages application, ASP.NET web or pages, or even MVC, where you're using .cs/html files, you would need to do some kind of postback so that that if statement will get evaluated again, render the content, and then serve that. Blazor only does the updates for the small things. If you're running in Blazor server, then it will process that UI request on the server and then send the diff essentially to your client. And then the client will apply that diff and only make the change to that one element or whatever is being affected by it. And if you're running in Blazor WebAssembly, then your .NET runtime is running in the browser, so it doesn't send it anywhere. It just processes it, re-renders the HTML, and then applies the changes to your current markup, to your current DOM. So as I'm looking at this, if I were to do something like dismiss this dialog, then the if statement surrounding this calc container, the if statement surrounding the calc container will evaluate to false. So the only change you're going to see in the DOM is this is going to not be rendered anymore. Or it will, but CSS will tell it, oh, the contents of it, huh? Aha. Excuse me. No, that should have worked. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. That's no fun. Okay, so the thing that I think just happened was I changed the value of show, which is the thing that controls whether or not that div is rendered. But I did not re-render the actual component, so it knows to reevaluate the if statement so that it doesn't render the component. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. Disco just smiles. Smile politely. Okay, so once again, if we are looking at this and we see that the if statement will then evaluate to false upon dismissing this, and it doesn't render that anymore. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to debug that at the moment, but really this show variable should have updated, and that would have updated this if statement so that show is false, and we would have not only bound this templated modal, not bound, but sent the value of false to the show for the templated modal, but we would have also evaluated this as false, telling this not to render at all. But I don't know why it's not. We will clean that up, just not right now. Right now we're focused on making sure. Cool. Good. We are just making sure that what we are typing will appear correctly in our output. What are you doing? We're trying to go back to here. So we're really close. Let's get rid of this part. Get rid of this. and then restart. Gosh, I really cannot brain this at the moment. This whole hot reload being janky is throwing me off. The heat is throwing me off, but we're gonna do this. We got this. We know it's going to work. Everything works eventually. 5 plus 2 plus equals 7. Now the question is, I just pushed the plus sign. I kind of would like the same active class that we put on the decimal point to be on this so that our output stays like this, but then the operator that you are, oh no, that's bad. Anyway, we'll fix that too. The operator that you are trying to press will just be activated. So that if you have not pressed any numbers, then it is not going to try to do the operation unless and until you type in at least one number. Because I think that's how calculators work. Back to this one. So if I put 5 plus, I had to step away for a sec. Just Blazor in general. Enterprise is very skeptical of it from what I have seen and heard. Man, I'm kind of interested to see what my old job would say about using Blazor. Which I used to work for Human Resources and did some of their information system stuff. And they were using ASP Classic and then ASP.NET, and then I think some of their applications were just straight up JSP. But they do have a lot of Microsoft applications, or Microsoft types of projects, I don't know what to call it, web technologies. Oh man. So if I push minus, and then I push times, and then plus, it's only updating the operator display. And then it leaves the value the same until you push a button. Interesting. And like this calculator pushes it to a history on the side. Okay, so maybe I will do this. I still like my output up here. I'm not going to do this history thing yet, but when we push when we push an operator, we're going to have a flag to know if our input value has changed. I'm going to get rid of this, and we're going to have a private private int. No, private bool. Oh my gosh, private bool input dirty. Which is going to actually default to true. So that on the very first key press, how does that look here? On the very first key press, if I just push times, yeah, it'll take the existing input. So I do like that. So input dirty is true. And here we will go, if not input dirty, then the only thing that we're going to do is update the operator and set it to active. So we're going to have, what, an active operator too? Actually, we're going to set you to null. Okay, so if input dirty, active op equals op. Actually, in all cases, active op will be op. And then if input dirty, can anyone think through this? Because I'm having struggles. Am I doing the thing that I think that I'm doing, or am I just making it weird? And then when we actually submit it and do this thing, we reset input dirty to false. And when we press a button, oh, and also, oh, down here in handle clear clicked. Got it. Handle clear clicked would be input dirty is false. Would it though? Because if I push clear, then we're reset back to 0. So we actually want it to be true. Which means that the only place that we could set it to false is here. And then when we push a button, we set input dirty to true. Okay, okay. So now if I push 5 plus 2 plus, okay. Then we will have an active, oh, yeah, then I can just leave that the same. We will have an active operator, which will be identified by our operator having a class I'm going to steal it from here. Duplicate. We're going to need some parentheses. We can get rid of this. Okay, so if current op is equal to, oh, wait, this needs to, not on click, all the way back. Liz, cooperate with me. So if our current operator is the operator for this button, then we will apply the style of active. Otherwise, we will apply no styles. Right? And we need an add symbol. We need an add symbol. That is a bang. Nice try. It's not current op. It's probably just cur op. It's not cur op. Active op. Oh, I got this. Active. Okay. Napalm says, I think the biggest gripe is a lot of shops have invested in JavaScript heavily, React in a lot of places, so they aren't really all that interested in switching for something that requires a heavier download. True. You can't get as lean in Blazor as you can with straight up JavaScript. True. Yes. However, places like a lot of enterprises that I have worked with have already been using Microsoft products. And so having them switch to something more interactive like Blazor, it's kind of easy to sell them on it, but at the same time it's difficult because then you know the common thing comes up that says, but your initial download for Blazor Wasm is 200 megabytes or whatever. I don't know what it is anymore, but it's gotten a lot smaller. But your initial download, because you are downloading the .NET runtime that has been transpiled or compiled to Mono. Yeah, and then, like, I haven't heard that come up lately, but there have been a lot of places that had, in the beginning, a fear attributed to Silverlight, and what happened with Silverlight, where it just kind of disappeared after they had spent tons and tons of money implementing some app using Silverlight. And hello, Panosa. The class attribute would be removed if the false state was null, instead of rendering an empty. class attribute, which is fine. Yeah, we won't always need the class. Oh, you're just saying use null to get rid of the class attribute. So it just doesn't render at all. I think. Sure, let's do it. I like it. Thanks for the input. I'll try to remember that. Like, I'm always used to just defaulting to string.empty. I mean, it's very little overhead if you use string.empty because it's a static. And it's not like it's going to take any extra a lot of extra processing just to print out an empty string. But at the same time, why render the class attribute when it doesn't even need to be on there because it'll be completely empty. I like it. Mojo says to Napalm, I gotcha. We're migrating from .NET Framework MVC to a JavaScript frontend with .NET backend because there's more people out there with JavaScript, TypeScript, React experience. React and Angular are the two that I've seen throughout Sogeti even that a lot of the clients like using. Can you do number pad in a loop? It's yes, but then my CSS would have to be different and then my tab stops would also have to be different. So right now, the numbers are listed top to bottom, left to right, 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, plus minus 0, dot. So yes. And also, the other thing that I could do is have my number buttons in something like a list, an ordered list, so that I could just loop through it. Because it's, again, repeated code, like you're indicating. So yeah, it's not a bad suggestion at all. We may as well just do that. So give me a second just to make sure that my brain is actually doing what I want it to. So I pushed, oh, right. Ooh, I got a hot reload suggestion thing. Are you working again, hot reload? Please work. Are you gonna actually build though and run? It's not actually gonna run itself though. So, did you actually take my changes? I pushed 5 plus? No, it did not. Okay, stop, go again. And I guess while we're here, since we're reloading anyway, let's go ahead and do this. I'm okay with doing it this way. If you have a better way, I am open to it, but private list of private static list of string. Oh no. Okay, so the problem is going to be that I have this plus minus and decimal point as 2 special buttons that I'll need to add. So maybe I'll just do the last row individually. IEnumerable would typically indicate that it needs to evaluate every time, but here I want something that's going to compile once and be available. So it's not like I'm repopulating this. Oh, right. Never mind. I can do an iRead-only list in that case. Numpad items. New list int. And then we'll just do this in the order that I want the numbers to appear in, which is 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6. You would prefer an array because a list has way too much overhead. You're absolutely right. Is there a way to make a read-only list? I mean, a read-only array? Yeah, there is. So not 1, 2, 3. This will be 3, 2, 1. This should be 6, 5, 4. And now this. Yeah, for here, it doesn't really matter all that much. But then we can turn this into a for each. Var key in numpad items. Just keep one of these. For each. Yes, for each. And then we'll replace our number everywhere with at key. Except you won't be at key. You'll just be the key itself. Okay, so that cleans it up a little bit. I still wouldn't know what to do with this other than have it output all 10 numbers and then tell it to style the plus and minus in the right place. But then again, I would have to affect tab index if I use something like display grid, because this button will appear in the DOM before these two operators. I don't know what they are. Keypad keys for negate and decimal. But for now, it should still appear the same. So we got that done. We got the operator. I honestly don't know where we're at, to be honest. We're somewhere. Much better. There is crazy investment in MVC and enterprise, not easy to change directions in big companies. True. Yes. Yeah, and thankfully, when I was working at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, I was essentially, no, I'm not going to say it that way. I had a junior developer with me, but I was the one making the decisions on what technologies we use. And they were like, as long as it's a Microsoft product and you're using IIS and here's this list of requirements, we don't care what technologies you use for the actual app itself. So I was able to choose MVC with .NET Framework at the time, and then I migrated that to Blazor on .NET Core. And it was so much fun. 5+. Okay, so why aren't you showing as my active operator? I'm not, wait, I should be. Yeah, I'm setting the active operator every time. For sure. And then we saw that it re-rendered because it put the current value up there. Because active operator I am setting to null at the bottom, which I should only set it to null when I clear, which I'm doing every time. I should only set it to null when I clear all. How about that? Oh man, my brain. And again, I have to keep stopping and restarting because hot reload is not behaving the way that I'm expecting it to. Sad times, man, sad times. F12. Calculator. Show me the plus sign. I missed. No, I didn't. Okay, so 4+. There we go. Okay, so now plus is showing up as the active. If I change to minus, it still does the operation. Why did it still? Why? Why would input dirty not have turned false? Because I did not push a number. I mean, it's outside of the try catch, so it doesn't have to be in a finally. But finally does ensure that it's always done. Like if catch throw an exception, then yes. Or if an unhandled exception happens, which there should be no unhandled exceptions. If there are unhandled exceptions, then I would want to make sure as a developer I clean up those unhandled exceptions, or at least have an explicit catch for them. And usually what I do in development is I do catch all exception, but then I handle specific exceptions like so, but instead I will throw any unhandled exceptions so that I can still evaluate what was the actual exception that got thrown when this unexpected thing happened. Should I be covering for it? How can I fix it? I would know this if I did tests, unit tests. Okay, so I'm supposed to be able to switch between operators without it running this entire thing. So why is it still allowed to get past here on operator clicked? Yeah, exactly. And so in this case, I really don't want to ever have a case where I'm allowed to have an unhandled exception in here. Therefore, I should always reach this code. And I wouldn't, honestly, if an unhandled exception does happen, I would not want to clear. I would still want their latest input to be in the UI. Okay, so why broke? What do? 5 plus, no, I meant minus. Why are you still calculating? Because I haven't saved? It looks like it did a hot reload. I'm not trusting it though. I might have to actually debug this, or at least, as I said before, console write line. Input, oops, input dirty. Oh my gosh. Input dirty is this before this after. Save. Hot reload. Hot reload of changes succeeded. So says my console output. You lying to me? Probably. 5 plus, and we see here, input dirty is true before, false after, and if I push another operator, it's true before and false after. When does it get set back to true? Handle clear clicked, probably. I thought that I moved this into clear all. Special. Okay. Hot reload changes succeeded. Plus, minus, times. There we go. Oh, that's my fault. It's always my fault. Okay, so I mean, who else's would it be? Okay, so let's get the calc button to work. We're going to just put a big equal sign on it. Why not? I don't mind. Push you all the way over here. And you are going to say operator dot submit. Equal, oh duh, because that should do current value plus num output. Huh? Oh, it's hitting this, and because I have not pushed any other num, no, that's a lie. So if I push this, then I currently have dirty is false. If I push equals, it should early exit. And then if I push a number and then equals, it should go through. But I really want this to be able to go through if we are pushing submit. I have to think about that more. Oh my goodness. Help. I can't brain. If we push the submit button, we set active operator to submit. If not input is dirty and if the operator is not submit, then return. Otherwise, previous operator has value, show the formula in the output. Calculate based off of the previous operator that we have in memory, which is going to be add, subtract, divide, or multiply. Set the previous operator to the one that we just clicked, which in this case is going to be submit. Set input type dirty to false in all cases. And then if we're doing, well, I guess I don't care about previous operator being submit. I do because of the formula printout. And then handle clear clicked. So when I push handle clear clicked, it sets the input number to 0, and that's it. And decimal active is false. And this is going to be null. Okay, 5 plus 2. And then if I push equals, I'm expecting this to give me 5 plus 2. So what's happening? What is happening? Oh, I know what's happening. I'm happy. I'm feeling sad. This does not have a handler. Obviously. And just so you know, all of this code initially came from just a quick thrown together HTML and JavaScript, and I think there was a little bit of CSS in there that one of our community members wrote as learning JavaScript and HTML. So they wrote a calculator. Oh man, I completely forgot. I missed your follow. Thank you so much, Control-Alt-Skulderon. 20 minutes ago. That is a long time ago. Thank you so much for the follow. But yeah, so we're using the calculator that Max, aka Purple Dragon, put together and just adopting it into Blazor and turning it from JavaScript into C#. But I'm writing the logic myself, so it's not like I'm come on now, crumble cakes. Yeah. Pickles. Anyway, we should have a submit button that is now hooked up, provided we don't need to rebuild. Equals. There we go. Where's my output though? Does current value get reset when I push clear all? Handle operator clicked. Current value gets updated. We remove previous op and active op, but we still have a value in current value. So, dear sir or madam, prev op. Okay, so this is based off of prev op having value. I need this to be current value having value, which means that current value needs to be a nullable decimal, which means that everywhere that we use current value, such as in here, here, and here. So current value question mark equals 0. So this is saying if current value is null, then set it to 0. Otherwise, don't change its value. And then when we're clearing all, we're going to set it to null. And that should be everywhere that we need to do null check type things on current value. Good. And now you're angry. And I am sad. And you rebuild. And run. Run. You can do it. I believe in you. Oh, right. It's doing the thing where it's not actually running itself. How do you define -2 plus 2? I will show you. So, on regular calculators, if you want to negate a number, you have to push this negative here, and then plus 2 equals. And there we go. Now we still have the output, even though we have set our previous operator to null. Yeah. Cool, cool, crazy, cool. And then if I push plus again and I do 5 times 20. Ooh. Oh wait, no, that was right. It didn't update my formula because previous operator would have been nulled out. This is right though. Oh, okay. If we do 5 plus 2, and then we do equals, then currently our previous operator is null. If we do another button, then all that's going to do is set our active operator . Which means what? Which means what? Oh, it's so warm. Somebody help me out here. I don't know why I'm not able to do logic other than the heat. That's my only excuse. The behavior that I'm trying to get here is after you push the equal sign, if you push an operator and then a number, let's say, and then equals, then this thing is not updating because there was no previous operator. So let's just keep going with current value then. And that's not gonna work. So let's try previous op, active op. Ooh, what if? We do var op to use, and we set that equal to if we are using submit, op is submit, then we use active op, Otherwise, we use previous op. About value. But what if previous op is still null? Because we could just push the equal sign up front. This would be the perfect place to do some kind of state calc list, like list double left top, so you can chain together. Yeah, so that is potentially where we can go with this. Right now it's just a simple calculator where you just do the most recent operations result, operator, your next number that you input. It's just this equal sign is going to cause a lot more issues than I'm thinking it should. Because I cannot, for the life of me, logic out my brains. Oh, you know what typically calculators do? After you type something like 5 plus 5, let's say, and you push the equal sign, and you push it again, it will continue adding the most recent number you put in. And the same thing with the plus sign. So like if I put 5 and then I just kept pushing, oh no, it's only the equal sign that does it. Divided by 5. So it keeps repeating the last operation every single time you push submit. So we don't want to get rid of previous operator. We just don't want to set previous operator when we are submit. Okay. But that also means that I don't want to lose my current input value. All right, it kind of sounds like we have some more ideas on doing a refactor of this already. So equal sign, use result times counter. That would be nice if it was always an addition. Addition, he says, as opposed to repeat the last operation. So for example, when I did times 5 and I hit equals, it's times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Yeah, since I'm not pushing anything to like a stack or history or anything like that, then it's not really working as a real calculator. I'm only keeping the most recent operation. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's what I meant. You need a stack to change around the notation style. Yeah, make it easier for the PC to evaluate. But I want to make it easier for us to read, which I'm not doing a very good job of. Here's a thought. Here is a thought. What does this say? Then if the user does not click anything else, clear set brief. Okay, fine. You know, hard computer science problems are never easy to read. You know, this is a calculator. Calculator should not be hard. It should not be as difficult as I'm making it, but I can't brain. I'm failing at the braining. Current value plus, here's where it's gonna get difficult. My num output is gonna get cleared change it to postfix, run it through an evaluator, done and done. But that's not as fun as writing my own calculator. You want to make it easy? Input number, select operator, input number. That's exactly what it is. It's input number, select operator, input number. But as soon as you select another operator, it calculates, and then you input another number, select operator, input another number. Oh, and that's still not doing what I want it to. Oh, with 3 input fields, right. I still want it to look like a calculator. I'm lazy, as Bill Gates always said. Yeah, but I mean, this is for fun. It has nothing to do with being lazy or not. Is it fun? Because I'm having fun trying to struggle through it and get it to work. But if it was for a job, then yeah, use an existing library. Use someone else's methods. But I really, really thought that my brain would have been able to handle this, and it can't. It can't handle it for anything. So yeah, considering a restructure though of how this thing should look. Yeah, I totally screwed up my number output. If you're using opt, you should be using opt to use. That's one thing. It's deceptively complex. Okay. 5 plus 2 equals 5 equals 2 equals 7. Why are you still using the equal sign? Because my operator was submit. My active op is the one that I just picked. And then I update active op. How about if we just don't update it when I do submit? All right, then I can keep you down here. That's fine. Do you need a rebuild? I'll reload. Plus 3 equals, and then it cleared out to 0. So this worked. This just worked. Okay. The thing is, I want this thing to not clear if op is submit. I still am not fully thinking this through, but it's easy for us to say, just do it this way. I mean, I'm not really learning much by doing this other than not knowing that my limits are currently at a point where I just cannot logic this. Okay, so if I push equals now, this number should stay as my input. And there we go. Every single time that I push the enter key, it repeats the last operator. You're doing it wrong. I know Dukasoft. All right, so that worked. And then if I push a plus sign, yeah, that's what I thought. So the issue is now, when I push equals, the thing that should happen is if I push another number, it pretty much starts over. And I'm not using last on input. Good, good. I'm not updating active operator. Oh, don't worry. It'll be 2 days before we get back to this because I only stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then I'll look at it and still be like, what are you doing? Oh, it'll be fun. Okay, so here we are. If we are pushing the equal sign, then we are not going to update our active operator. And the active operator is the one that has the orange background. So when we push the equal sign, we are doing a submit, so we don't return early. Opt to use will be, we're doing a submit, so use the active operator, which would have been plus sign. I mean, even if we start from the beginning, the active operator is going to default to doing this operation. And then current value will not have had a value. Which means that I actually don't need this until we're in here. So if it's the first number we input in our calculation sequence, then current value will not have a value. Good. Default it to 0. Evaluate the previous operator, which by default is going to be plus. All right, so if current value does not have a value, and we are using operator.submit, then we want to ignore it. So let me just add that up here. And plus current value. So we will do an early return if we're pushing the equal sign, but we don't have anything that has been tabulated. Or not input is dirty and we aren't pushing the submit button. So let's do this in the same order so that we can read it just a little bit easier. So either we are using the submit button and there is no current value, or we are not using the submit button and we have not entered a new value, which means we're able to switch between plus, minus, divide, as long as we don't push another number. So I can get rid of this. Clear all. First equal does nothing. Plus 5 equals, or equals does nothing plus equals works because we did push an operator and it was using the previous value of 0 with an add to the next number. And then if we push 0 equals, then nothing. 0 plus 0 equals. Cool. So that's working. That's working the way that I want it to so far. Plus 5 equals times 2 equals. Yeah, so the only thing that's not working is after pushing a new operator, after pushing the equal sign, we are not able to input a new number. We would have to clear it out ourselves to input the new number. Minus. Yeah, and what I'm expecting to happen is after I push the minus and I push 1, this number changes only to 1. So let's write a to-do because we are coming up close to time. Yeah, I mean, I'm writing a to-do though, but thank you for describing what we're doing here. To do, after a submit, the next input dirty is always going to be false. The next number pressed should replace current input. Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. And you can handle that. You can handle it by doing 4 minus 2 times 5. But we will. We will. Promise. We'll do this cleanly eventually. But for now, again, we're just having fun. I'm sweating a lot. I'm overheated. I'm hungry. I need to take a break. So, we are... I know you are. Just having fun. Just choose your value 8 async, says Kawaii Life. We could just use that stuff, or we could write our own logic for the fun of it, for a calculator to work for the fun of it. Okay, I honestly asked ChatGPT, or we could just I'm sure ChatGPT could come up with some calculator logic for us. I am sure. But yeah, I lost track of the streamers that I was lurking on, and I have no idea who's currently still streaming, because my Twitch tab is closed, but my multi-stream is still open, and the 2 people that I was watching, it's man versus machine. Don't you guys get it? It's man versus heat. Man versus I'm way too hot right now, and not the attractive kind of hot. Oh, how long has it been since we've rated simple? Yeah, this is a perfect place for unit tests. Absolutely. So let's start writing those now, or after we're done with everything and we're gonna work on tests. Let's go to this scene, and I'm gonna cool off somehow. called Seagull Consulting. Also, fly in, make a lot of noise, poop on everything, fly off. Unit test written by Live Coding. You know, it is an open source project that you can definitely contribute to. Speaking of, I am going to go ahead and commit these changes to the repo. Updated calculator logic. So for those of you that are saying just use a library, if you want to implement this using a library, then feel free. But I'm probably going to finish continuing the way that I'm going so that we can show what it's like to refactor, to clean stuff up. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's to show lessons and stuff. Not because of stubbornness. I'm gonna defeat this calculator logic. I was trying to go to Discord, to the announcements, and find out when the last time I rated simple game dev was. Not announcements, stream announcements. Cut. Refactor. Are you in date descending order? So the last time we rated him was 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. So we will go ahead and rate him. So if you guys are interested in coming along with me to one of my favorite Unity developer streamers, I will be hanging out on Simple Game Dev's channel, as well as CodeRad Games and Sedlix, but I will be listening more actively to Simple Game Dev today. And Dragon Spirit Games as well. So if you don't know those that I just said there, here is CodeRad Games, who's working on a game called Roguelite, which is a roguelite. Oh, I can't spell anything at the moment though. Feel free to follow and subscribe and whatever else to CodeRad Games if you're into game developers. Here is Sedlix, who is also working on a game, but mostly his stream is all about the interactions that he has with people. He has this really cool AI bot that he calls his son and just has a lot of fun on his stream. It's kind of a little bit much for my HSP-ness, so sometimes it can get rowdy and I just can't concentrate, and I think that that would be a bit too much for me today. And the other one that I want to shout out before we head over to Simple is a guy who goes by Dragon Spirit Games, who's making a 2D side-scroller platformer game that is a story of his daughter named Gaia that is going to go and save the world by meeting the goddess Gaia, transporting to ancient Greece, and just solving problems. And yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a fun game. He's targeting all audiences. He's making sure that his game is fully accessible for anyone with various types of handicaps, which I think is really cool and admirable and awesome. But we are going to go over and raid Simple Game Dev, who just got a shout out from Stream Elements. So you can see the game that he's working on Steam if you use that link that Stream Elements just posted. It's called Artificial. It is inspired by Half-Life and Portal. It's a 3D platformer, and I love the graphics that he's using. I love the design approach that he's done. But yeah, if you're not into game developers, then definitely I'll see you the next time that you feel like coming around. And if there were any other .NET developers that I follow that were currently streaming, I would have went to them. But I'll be back on Wednesday, same time from 2 hours ago. I'll post a recording of this video to YouTube no sooner than 24 hours after we are done. And as always, please feel free to join our Discord, which has probably been shouted out recently, but there's the link for it. Here's the YouTube channel if you want to watch previous videos. Okay, ciao for now. Cheers.